They call him the Wizard. Chapter 9. The Rabbit Hole of Tartaria. One fine day, while the wizard was out at sea on his trusty sailboat, his sanctuary on the waves, he decided to pass the time by tuning into one of his favorite video channels. The ocean breeze was steady, the sun was setting, and the horizon stretched out like the edge of the world. Little did he know that this peaceful moment was about to lead him straight down one of the most mind-bending rabbit holes he had ever encountered. The video started innocently enough, discussing strange, forgotten buildings from a civilization called Tartaria. As the narrator went on, something in the wizard's memory began to stir. He had heard rumors about this lost civilization before. Tartaria was supposedly an advanced empire that spanned the globe with architectural marvels, castles, domes, towers, and the enigmatic star forts scattered across the world. But it wasn't just the mysterious buildings that intrigued him. As the wizard listened, he started recognizing descriptions that sounded uncannily familiar. The star forts, the grand buildings, the strange architectural features, they reminded him of his own hometown. The more he listened, the more convinced he became. There had to be a connection. "Wait a minute," he muttered, pausing the video. "I grew up around one of those star forts." That's when it hit him like a bolt of lightning. What if these old, seemingly forgotten structures weren't just relics of the past? What if they were artifacts from other timelines, realities bleeding into his own? What if the wizard, and everyone else for that matter, had simply shifted into a timeline where these buildings existed, and always had? "Well," he chuckled to himself, "if that doesn't take the cake." The deeper he thought about it, the more it all seemed to fit. It wasn't just the buildings either. There were these strange stories about the mud flood, where cities had been buried under layers of earth, as if civilization itself had been reset, wiped clean, then rebuilt on top of the ruins. The wizard wondered if there had been a sort of cosmic glitch, something that rearranged history, or maybe even timelines. What if these mud flood buildings were remnants of another era? A completely different timeline, now bleeding into this one. The wizard leaned back against the mast of his boat, letting the waves rock him gently. "So we've got these grand old buildings, star forts, and possible resets of civilizations. Sounds like a cosmic game of hide-and-seek to me." And the more he pondered, the more amused he became. What if these structures were like breadcrumbs from another reality? Maybe the architects of Tartaria had figured out how to harness Earth's telluric energies, cosmic energies, or even something like zero-point energy. They might have tapped into natural power sources, building their empire in harmony with the planet's own frequencies. And then something happened. Maybe they disappeared into a parallel dimension, leaving only these mysterious buildings behind as clues for the rest of us to find. Or maybe, he laughed to himself, we all just slipped into their timeline. The wizard's mind raced with possibilities. Were the Tartarians aware of other timelines? Did they consciously design their cities and fortresses to work as beacons of energy, pulling fragments of alternate realities together? And if that was the case, what was stopping someone like him, for instance, from figuring out how to use those same energies? He pulled out a notebook from his bag and started sketching. All right, if we've got Earth energies flowing through these places and cosmic energies coming down from above, then somewhere in the middle, there's gotta be a way to tap into it. Maybe these star forts weren't just forts at all. Maybe they were conductors, channeling energy from the earth and sky, free energy. He paused, tapping his pencil against the paper, which would explain why the history books didn't want to mention them. Can't have everyone tapping into free energy now, can we? The wizard couldn't help but laugh at the sheer absurdity and brilliance of it all. The more he thought about it, the more it seemed like Tartaria had been swept under the rug. The history of an entire civilization just erased. And yet, here were the buildings, the remnants, standing in plain sight for anyone willing to look. He wondered what other surprises were waiting just around the corner. Maybe there were more lost cities, more forgotten technologies. And maybe, just maybe, there was a way to braid this mystery into the bigger picture. The timelines, the Mandela effects, the strange shifts in reality. As the sun dipped below the horizon, and the stars began to twinkle in the darkening sky, the wizard felt a sense of awe wash over him. What if everything he'd ever experienced, the shifts in time, the strange disappearances, the odd changes in landscapes and buildings, was all part of a grander design, What if these star forts and mud flood buildings were cosmic signposts, guiding him towards something far greater than he had ever imagined? His boat drifted lazily on the water, but the wizard's mind was buzzing with excitement. This was no ordinary rabbit hole. This was the ultimate rabbit hole, the kind that stretched across dimensions, through timelines, and into the very fabric of reality itself. With a grin, the wizard turned the page in his notebook and started sketching again. "Well, Tartaria," he muttered, "let's see what you've got." And so, with the sea breeze in his hair and the stars above, the wizard sailed on, deeper into the mysteries of the universe, ready to unravel the secrets of a lost civilization, and maybe, just maybe, figure out how it all fit into the great cosmic game to be continued. Global Robotics Corporation, Global Robotics Corp. Please like, comment, and subscribe.